Hey guys, I have a story for you. So I was at home. I had just gotten up. I was eating breakfast. And all of a sudden, I hear this noise from the front door like somebody's trying to break in. My dogs start going crazy. I was literally so freaked out, I threw my bowl of Raisin Bran across the room and ran to the pantry to hide. So then after this had happened and I knew that the guy had already left, I, like a normal person, picked up my Raisin Bran and started eating it again. Then the lights go out. I freaked out again and threw my bowl of Raisin Bran across the room. I called my mom. And she was like, stop being a baby and go see who it is. So I got down on all fours and walked all the way to the door just to find out it was the electric guy.
Story time! So, I just got this tattoo on my arm, and I literally got it in like the sketchiest way possible. I'm in Chile, and I wanted a tattoo. So, I went to find a place to get a tattoo. And my host mom told me that there's a place like really close by, and they do a really good job. And they don't charge a lot. And I'm like, oh yeah, let's go! Little did I know that the tattoo shop was literally right in that garage. What? You might be thinking, oh my gosh, there's no way that she got a tattoo in a garage in Chile. Well, if you did, you thought wrong! I went and got the tattoo in a garage, and it only cost me $40. So far, so good. My arm is still attached to my body, and this thing looks fire. But that was easily like the weirdest thing I've ever done. Like, who goes to a foreign country and gets a tattoo in some random guy's garage? No regrets.
Story time. All right, so when I was in first grade, I would walk home from school, and one day I'm walking home. I come to this major intersection or whatever, and I push the button, wait for, it to say for me to go. Finally, it's my turn. I start going across the street, and all of a sudden a lady gets out of her car and tells me to come to her car. I flip out thinking I'm being kidnapped. I take off and I run. I ran all the way back to the school without even stopping, ran into a crossing guard, crying my eyes out. Principal came out, called the cops. They took me to the police station to wait for my mom. While I was at the police station, they had me stare out the front window of the police station and look for the car that kidnapped me. It was a small town. Later that night, we were finally home, and a police officer comes to our door and says, hey, we need to take you guys somewhere. We get to this sports field, and we go up to this lady who happens to be the one who tried to kidnap me. Turns out she was a teacher at the school trying to let me know I was going home the wrong way because this was my first time walking home.
Story time. This morning I went to PDI in Chile, which is like the FBI in the United States, in order to get my visa finalized. And I'm sitting there, and my sister texts me. She goes, what's up? And I'm just like, I don't want to give a normal response. So I respond, Kayla, I'm getting deported. I waited too long to get my visa and I'm getting deported. And my sister's like, what the frick is going on? I told her that I was in a cell with screaming people. I even called her as I was walking past a playground full of screaming children so that she would believe it more. She took the cake, all of it. I told her that I owed the Chilean government $40,000 and that they had me locked up in a jail cell. She starts crying and she's just like, Hope, I know this is tough and I know this may seem like you're never gonna get out of this, but it's okay and I love you so much. And she's crying. She tells my other sister. So now both of my sisters think that I'm in a cell, getting deported and owe the government $40,000. I said, I don't know what anybody's saying. I don't understand the Spanish they're speaking. They took my shoes. They believed it all. And then I ended it with got him.
Is everyone familiar with these little scent and spray things? They spray a scent when you walk in front of them. Anyway, I bought a whole bunch of them a while back. I got lavender scented. I like the lavender. And then while my husband was out of town, I decided to go ahead and hang them around the house. He works on the road. What I didn't realize was that I was hanging them all about a foot above my head. One here in the bathroom above the toilet, one here in the hallway next to the dog kennel, and one in the closet. It was nice. The whole house smelled like lavender. And then my husband came home. I had forgotten about them at this point. The little psh sound had already blended into the background for me, but he noticed. He didn't mind because he said he liked the smell of lavender. And then he went to the bathroom. From what I gather, he was standing in front of the toilet, peeing, like you do. And all of a sudden I hear, "Ah, what the?" He came out holding his eyes. He had peed all over the toilet. It had sprayed him in the face. Oops, sorry, I moved it. The next morning, he went to get a shirt out of the closet. I hear, "Damn it!" Got him again. Oops, moved it. Later, he was standing in front of the dog crate talking to the pups. Psst! Ah! Damn it! Got him again. It was at this point that David decided he did not like lavender anymore.
Story time. So, I went to New York my senior year of high school. It was for a choir. It was like the annual choir trip. And I'm with a bunch of my classmates, and our first day in New York, we go to Times Square. We see all these mascots. I see the characters of Frozen. I see Elsa, and she's over there like, un photo conmigo. And I'm like, okay, let's go. She puts her arm around me, and we're about to take un photo. And all of a sudden, she wraps her arms around me and starts ripping the backpack off of my back. She's like jerking me around, like trying to take my backpack off. And all of a sudden, Anna and Olaf start hustling over to join her. So here I have Anna, Elsa, and Olaf all trying to take my stuff. I was just sitting there like, let me go, let me go. And they did not let me go. Finally, one of my classmates see what's going on, and they pull me out of that situation. And now I hate Frozen. Story time. This is about my very first crush that I ever had. I was in 6th grade, and I liked this boy. So I bought him a box of hot tamales, because I thought he was a hot tamale. He looks back at me, and this is what he says. Girl, I don't like you. I cried, and then ate the hot tamale. Story time. I was in my first year of college. And my friends and I were obsessed with going to restaurants for lunch instead of eating on campus, even though we paid for a meal plan because that makes sense. So one day before class, my friend was like, hey, we should go to Five Guys, burgers and fries. And I was like, oh yeah. And so we went to Five Guys, and I realized I wasn't going to make it back in time for class. And I had this really, really big group project that we had to work on. I was so scared. I was texting my partner in my group, and he's just like, yo, the professor's so mad right now. It's his dog's birthday, and he's mad. I'm freaking out. And on the way back to campus, the stoplights literally stopped working. So I was even more late. And so my group partner was just like, yo, you gotta wish the dog happy birthday. The dog's name is Roxy. Just tell the dog happy birthday and you'll be fine. And I'm like, okay, I can do that. That's fine. So I walk into the classroom, up to my professor, and I'm like, I'm so sorry the stoplight stopped working. And and he was totally chill. And then I go, oh, by the way, happy birthday to your dog, Roxy. How old is she? And my professor goes, I don't have a dog. And the entire class erupts in laughter. My partner played me. There was no dog.